Hi, everybody. This is Denise, the Bionic Woman. I haven't been on here in several weeks. It's been a while. I wanted to give an update. I know there were a few people asking me about what was going on, and so I want to give you an update. I had my procedure on July 17th, and it has been up and down. So I want to be honest with you. I try to be honest the whole time. Um, the one thing that I had to do was I have to make sure every day that I go in and I update, and I'm looking at it now. They gave me an iPhone for my to keep up with my assessment. I do an assessment every single morning. And when I was doing my assessment, not every day it doesn't change. So on some of those days that it didn't change, and this is what it looked like. I don't know why I feel like I can't, my camera, it looks a little blurry. It looks better like that. The assessment wouldn't change. So I didn't get any relief. And to be completely honest with you, this past weekend was a little rough. I actually was keeping my son's dog. He has a 65-pound English bulldog. She's a girl. Uh, Very easy to take care of. She's really self-efficient. Okay, I all I had to do was feed her, give her water, and let her out the back door, and she was good. Now my daughter, on the other hand, has I'm not sure if he's 12 or 14 pounds. Um, Boy, 1 years old. The English bulldog is 9 years old, so there's this huge age gap. However, the my daughter's dog is a little small Shih Tzu. Okay, very active, but he's in his own world when she's not here. He's a little bit more active and want to do the zoomies. He did it a couple of times with me, but not that much. But the problem I had was I could not just open the back door and let him out. I had to physically walk him every single day. And that was really tough on me this weekend because, for whatever reason, the setting that I was on Friday, it wasn't a good setting. And when I did my assessment, so my legs hurted me so bad. And it was difficult for me to walk this little dog. And although he was, I'm not sure if 12 or 14 pounds, he actually was very strong. And when I walked him, he would be pulling me along. I did like that I was able to get out and move. I'm trying to move more, walk more, and become more active, but it just was the wrong time because it the setting that I was on, the Nevro, it was no relief. I had a lot of pain, and during the evenings when I had to walk him in the evenings, that was the worst time, to be honest. But I did it. And the other thing, remember, it hasn't even been a month yet. So I cannot try to move this back just a little bit. I still don't supposed to twist or bend or pick up anything too heavy. Um, Anything, it has to be 5 pounds or less. And actually, my doctor said a gallon of milk was too heavy. So I'm not able to reach above my head. So all of those things were part of the things that I could not do, but I still would have to take care of this little puppy. So I had a pooper scooper. That's how I was picking up his poop, not to be gross, but I had to come up with something, and that's the way we handled it. So I would be able to um, walk him short distance. And it was a very short distance. I walked him around just to try to get him to go to potty, especially in the evenings after he ate. So I walked him twice a day, in the morning, after he ate, and then in the evening. And the thing about this little puppy, this little dog, um, he loves to walk, and I could not um, walk the way he wanted me to walk. And it really, like I said, it was just the wrong settings on my device, because I was in so much pain this weekend. And I really was disappointed because I really wanted to walk further. And the other thing is, I don't know if you guys ever feel like this, but sometimes I feel like a wobble doll. You seen those little toys where they have the 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 figure and they got the wobble head. Well, I feel like my body is a wobble. Just I'm a wobble doll sometimes, and I feel kind of wobbly, and just my balance is really really off. So not only was I walking him and my leg was hurting, I took a Tylenol every evening before I went out to walk him, and it didn't help. But I felt like I was wobbly and my balance was way off. So I was a little bit nervous about falling. And that's one thing that, you can't fall during this process. You have about 6 to 8 weeks that you really, really have to be careful to make sure that you don't fall, you don't get in any kind of accidents, so that your wires, remember I call them wires, don't come loose. So all of that was on my mind as he pulled me down the street, right? But I did manage to get through it. They got home last night. Oh my God, I was so glad to see them. I was hoping my daughter would have gotten here earlier so she could take her puppy out um, last night, but and I wouldn't have to do that last walk, but she didn't. So I had to take him, which was okay. Um, so this morning, what I did was actually last night and all weekend, I had sent text messages to Nevro because I'm telling you, I was just in extreme pain. And I'm going to tell you, um, and I'm going to be honest, I was just a little bit disappointed in this setting, a lot disappointed, to be honest, because I was in a lot of pain and I didn't think I should be in that much pain. And actually, what I did was I sent them a text message and told them the setting wasn't a good setting for me. What really sort of made me a little bit angry was Sunday. I really wanted to go to church, and I forced myself to go to church, and I started not to go. This yesterday was my first day back. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to get a lot in. And I forced myself to go to church because I wanted to go, and I hadn't been since I had my procedure. Um, and I didn't want to go because I was in so much pain. But I went on and forced myself to go. And I really was upset. I mentioned I was upset. I was upset because when I did my assessment yesterday, I was hoping that it would change. And it stayed on that same setting. Okay, on that same setting. I was so upset. So I sent another text message, and I do a lot of um, send messages out where I'll time it for the next day for somebody to get a message later or something like that. So I did that so they can get it first thing in the morning. And I also called them starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. They didn't answer my call, and I'm quite sure they were busy, but they did call me back. And it didn't take that long, maybe about 45 minutes. They called me back. And then during the process, I did not want to do my assessment until I had somebody on the phone because I'm thinking maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. It's a little confusing, the questions and how they ask you on this device how they ask you about the how you feeling, and then the way that Nevro, the rep, explained it to me, it's a little bit confusing to me. So I waited till I spoke to them, and she walked me through doing it, and we talked about how what relief I had. Absolutely none. Um, I even, to be honest with you, I put a pain patch, which I had not used in a long time. I put a pain patch on my leg, and if I would have had two of them, I would have put one on my foot, on both of my feet, to be honest with you, because my feet was hurting real bad. And not the toes, on the top of my foot, especially the right one, the top right foot hurted me so bad. The left foot, it hurted as well, but not as bad as the right one. And I was really, last night I struggled. I tell you, I struggled. I hurt it so bad. But we changed the settings today. Um, we They were changed. They did change based on my assessment that I had. And after a few hours today, I started feeling some relief. And the other pain I had was in my hip. I never really have pain there. The pain I have in my back is from this device. So I had all of that pain this weekend. So it was really, really hard for me taking care of the pups. Like I said, my son's dog is no problem. She's really self-sufficient. She goes out and do whatever she needs to do. Plus, she's a big girl. I don't have to worry about no other dog trying to come get her, or coyotes or things like that. Yeah, we have them, and so I don't worry about her. But my daughter's dog, I couldn't just. He would be gone. First of all, he would run uh, away, so I couldn't just leave him out there or let him go out there by himself. So um, that was that. So, like I said, I was very disappointed in that. And I actually, to be honest with you, I'm not sure I like the app. Okay. I'm doing well now. I do you set it up um, to do your assessment between a 4 hour window. So if mine is 8 to 12, I'm an early riser. I like to get up and drink my coffee, do the things I need to do. Um, you know, I listen to the Bible in the morning. It's just things that I do. Okay. And so that's why I prefer to do my assessment in the morning. And I don't take my medicine until 9 o'clock. Um, so I want to really feel what I feel so I can give an honest assessment of before I take the assessment. And if I have pain, a lot of pain the night before, I write it down and I describe that pain, what it was like. Because when I get up in the morning and I start moving around, that pain is not, I don't know why this is like this. The pain eases up some. So that's why I always make notes of how I'm doing, or how severe the pain was, and if I could do certain things and things like that. So like I said, this was a rough weekend for me. Now, before that, I think I ended on day 6. I have not had a day like I did when I had the trial. When I had the trial, probably the last 3 days of my trial, I almost was at 100% with no pain, none. I mean, I felt like I could fly. You know that feeling? I mean, I just felt like I could get out there and fly. That's how well I felt. And I haven't had that result since I have the device implanted. I know I'll get there. They keep telling me, it takes time, blah, blah, blah. And I try to be patient and waiting. And let me back up just a little bit. The pain that I'm having, with the exception of this weekend for whatever reason was hard. I don't know why. I don't know why this setting was the way it was, but it was hard. But all the other days and the last few weeks, it has been nothing like it was before I had my procedure. So I've had a lot of relief. So don't let me confuse you, okay? It's different settings that the device will go into different settings. That setting might not be for you. So if that setting is for me, like this one right here, I'm going to see how it is over the next few days. And if it does give me a lot of relief, I'm going to save it as a favorite. So you can go back, and if you do get one of your days where things are not going right for you, or your device didn't change, and you just having all this pain, you can go and go back to one of your favorites. So I'm hoping that this is one of those that I can save as a favorite. There was another day I really wish that I had saved as a favorite. And I'm going to ask my rep if I can go back. And I think it was day 7, not day 7, because it's not on days. It's on, they count the number of times they make adjustments, and then it'll change to a different number. I believe number 7 was good for me as well, and I almost saved it as a favorite, and I didn't. So I'm gonna ask, can I go back and save um, a favorite, because it is important if you get one of those days like this weekend that I had, and it was so bad, and I wished I had I could have did a favorite, because um, it was just bad. And like I said, I always try to be honest. It's not a miracle device. I have had a lot of relief. It has been 100% better than where I was. And I was told that I had surgery 3 times. Okay. I had the very first time, it was my L4, L5. I had a fusion. I was fused. Then it was my S1 and L2 and all. I don't know all the numbers. All I know is he gave me my screws that I had in my back. Right now, I still have 4 screws and I think 2 rods or something in my back. And now I got the Nevro. Anyway, they told me I needed a 3rd surgery, which I said I wasn't going to do. So that's how I wind up here, and I decided I was going to go, and I wasn't going to do it, and I was going to see what else I can do. It has to be something else, and so that was my thinking. My glasses keep slipping down. That was my thinking, to try to figure out what else can I do besides having that 3rd surgery, because the 3rd surgery was going to be a big surgery where they go through your back and then they flip you over and go through your stomach. The side effects were too iffy for me to even want to do that. Plus, they told me I had to lose weight. Um, so that was an issue. And the surgery, you had to make sure you was in top good health, top shelf health, because you would be in surgery anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. I wasn't doing that. Um, and also, it was a risk of you having to wear a poop bag. So why would I go and do something like that? Not unless it was really a life or death situation. I wasn't supposed to do that. So that's the reason why I decided to try to figure out something else and started going to the pain doctor. So, but yeah, And I'm telling you, it's the other thing that's really been really hard for me is sometimes you forget and you be like, oh, you get ready to reach for something, or you get ready to pick up something off the floor, or you twist the wrong way, and so you just have to really be careful because you got this 6 to 8 week window that you got to live in, to try to make sure that you don't do anything to undo what you just did, what you just went through as far as your surgery. And I don't want to go back through this again. It was, like I said, you got 2 incisions, and I don't understand. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm gonna have to go find a video to see how they, do they go under the skin to attach the wires? How do they get the wires over to the other side? Because you got the device on this side, and then in the middle, right here, here's your spine, and it has the wires, but the device is right here. So how did they get the wires? Did they go through the under the skin? I don't know, but I think about that, how they did it, and I tell you, I thank God for doctors and engineers and people who make design these little devices and came up with this technology, because I wouldn't be where I am today, you know. So that's the thing. And I know I've been teasing you guys of why I did what I did. Um, to be honest with you, I really want to live a better life. I want to be able to meet new people, travel, go places. I can't do anything right now, because for the last probably 5 years, I've been really suffering with pain, and I have can I mean barely do anything, So right now, when you start getting older, you start thinking about, well, am I just going to be sitting here and not being able to do anything? I have a sister that's, we often ask each other, you know, about our backs. We all have back problems. And I have a niece that has a back problem. So is it hereditary? I don't know. But we all have back problems. And my sister is actually, she's in a wheelchair. So I didn't want to wind up in a wheelchair. So that's the other thing, I want to be able to uh, get healthier, lose some weight. I was going to the gym before I got this procedure done, but you can't do that afterwards. So I've probably put on 5 pounds. Well, actually, I haven't. My weight has stayed the same. I get on the scale every morning. Um, but um, I was going to the gym and doing, not no hardcore, but they had a like a silver sneakers class, and doing chair aerobics and things like that to try to keep moving. And that's the other reason I was so excited, really, about this weekend, to be able to walk my daughter's dog, my grandpup, as she called him. But I walked him without difficulties and not as far as I wanted to walk him. So that was a real problem for me this past weekend. So I really want to, I'm counting down the weeks now. It was July 17th that I had my procedure. My birthday is coming up, which is August 20th. And I plan to treat myself. I haven't decided, you know, um, what to do for my birthday, but I have adult kids, so I always like, this is what I want, you know. That's how you handle that. But I just I just want to be able to have a better quality of life. So if you're thinking about getting the spinal cord stimulator and you've been following me, just know that no matter what I've said, as far as the pain I've been in, with the exception of this past weekend, because like I said, this past weekend was hard and the pain was very bad. But the other times when I said I had pain, it really was my incisions, because they cut me twice and they gonna cut you twice. Um, and and then just trying to get the right settings on the device. But the pain has been nothing like what I had before that. So I just wanted to get back on here and update you. You can contact me anytime. I'm available. Um, it has been a good experience for me. So I hope that for you, that it's a good experience for you. I hope you find the right doctor to do it, and just remember what they tell you when they say don't lift, don't twist, don't reach, no bending over. Just do it because you don't want to mess things up. And the other thing, I was just talking to my son today. I don't go too far. I went to the grocery store early today, and I had a doctor's appointment, which is literally 5 minutes from my house. I don't like going far either right now because I don't want nobody to hit me. You got to think about you know accidents and things like that. And I know you shouldn't dwell on things, but you have to be careful especially when you're in the healing phase. Even though you feel better, you you still have to be careful. And the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna get off of here, my uh, incisions have healed up very nicely. Where they put the wires at on my spine, that healed up quickly, very quickly, very quickly. I have no problems there. And to be honest with you, I don't think my scar is going to look that bad. Now, the area where they put the device is still healing. I still feel it. The outside has closed up, and there's no, um, you can't, it has healed. However, it's the inside that is bothering me. I can still feel it. And matter of fact, when I went to church yesterday, the shirt I wore, it was just a pullover top. And my pastor, the pastor's wife, we talked, and I hadn't been in church in a long time, well, since the procedure, and she said she could see it. I was shocked. She could see it. I didn't know you could see it in that particular blouse pullover top that I had on, but you could. I don't care. It didn't bother me that you could, but I had, I let her touch it, and it was, her and another person threw my clothes, and they were like surprised that, that it's right there. You can feel it, and it's right there. You can see it through my clothes, but it's okay. But I got very thick skin and don't care about stuff like that. So hopefully you do too. But anyway, like I said, I will be coming back on. I'm gonna let you know how my assessments have been going. Sorry about the last few weeks. It's just been a lot going on over here. So I and I've had doctor's appointments and trying to follow up just health wise with trying to take care of myself. And so anyway, I'm glad you guys are here listening to me. Put any questions you have in the chat. I will answer them. Just reach out, and we'll talk soon. Love you.